Thank you so much, John. And we're back in the studio with the one and only Rashid. Thank you so much for being here today with us. So Raya, I've been watching you since like so long. We're all like fans. My personal favorite interview for you was the one with Robert De Niro and Al Pacino. Amazing.
Just because they were together.
Exactly, like that's insane. I have a question, like while you're doing interviews with people like that, like legends, like in the cinema world, do you ever like have a moment when you're like talking to yourself, like do you understand like this is literally legendary, like this is gonna go in an archive, this is gonna be there for generations after like 30 years.
Yes, I don't take it as seriously, you know.
Yeah.
Yes, they're, you know, legends and they were together in an interview. I had interviewed them before separately. No, I thought it was a nice time to request the studio for me to take a picture with them.
Yeah, of course.
But you know, it's the movie, it's the Irishman that you're gonna remember the most. But I think a good tip while you're interviewing a celebrity is that if you think, oh my goodness, you know, you give out that vibe. Quite the opposite, you know, I'm here, you know, Bobby De Niro and Al. Exactly. I have to make it feel a little bit more personable. Yeah. Because otherwise,
of course, yeah, of course. I mean, it's just insane because, you know, this is all going to go into archives. It's like we're looking at interviews from before, you know?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Black and white. This is going to be sometime like a huge deal for people younger.
I hope my interviews get watched.
I bet
for
they
decades
will. I bet they
will. No, I never thought about it.
No, I bet they will. You've covered amazing, like so many like A-listers and amazing talents as well. My next question is a bit, weird, but hear me out. Okay, imagine this. You're in a different lifetime, and you could be anywhere, whenever you want, whenever you want. Where would you want to be? Like where would you want to be in which like time, let's say, or which time and space would you like to be? And would you also like, what kind of movies or what kind of actors would you have liked to cover from the past, other than the ones you've already mentioned? Like I know like Marlon Brando, Paul Newman. I know you've already mentioned those, but
no, but all of them from the golden age of Hollywood. I would have liked to have lived at that period. I know that probably I would have been frustrated about women's rights at the time and female directors and what actresses were. So I don't envy women's rights of the 50s and 60s, but I love that golden age period of Hollywood where celebrity was really so elusive and glamorous.
Exactly.
And I would have loved to have been a star then. Although you read about their lives and you know most of them were quite miserable. So
that's true. That's weird.
So I don't know, but it's an age of Hollywood that I would have liked to be.
Do you have any specific like time that you're like specifically intrigued in, like that you would want to visit if you had the chance?
I think the 60s were quite interesting. It was after World War II. It was kind of a peaceful time where people were just, you know, doing 60s and 70s. I think were interesting. Interesting.
And any
periods.
specific like old movies that you would have liked to like have an interview with a director or like an actor at the time?
Imagine
like
Citizen
one
Kane
movie,
and Gone with the Wind.
That's amazing.
And interviewing Scarlett O'Hara about saying tomorrow is another day. For sure.
And this brings also my other question. Like, there was also obviously art and music at the same time. Like, you know, again, I'm talking about a different time, which is why I was like, it's a weird question. But like, would you have covered like also musicians at the time, or like that's not a?
I'm not very acquainted with musicians in the 50s
Even
and 60s. It's more for music. I would more say the 80s and you know. That time period,
Elvis?
70s and 80s. Elvis died in 77, so in the 80s he wasn't there. Elvis would not have been a fascination for me, but definitely Frank Sinatra.
Oof, nice.
I would have liked to see the Rat Pack perform at the Hollywood Bowl. I had a fascination about Sinatra and the Rat Pack for a while. I love their music, and
that's amazing.
So yeah, these I would have loved to, and I guess you know Frank Sinatra was also an actor. So.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, on another note, I want to talk a bit about Lola, your daughter. Obviously, everyone knows because we're all like, you know, even her, we're following her now. We want to see her become like the actress, hopefully one day, and then especially me. Like, I would love to like see her act one day, and I know that's something that you would like her to do.
Yes,
but like,
I would encourage her to.
Yeah, what's like her favorite movie now?
Oh la la.
I mean,
she
she's
likes
young.
Stickman because it's short and it finishes quickly.
Okay.
And during the lockdown, actually, it's the only long form movie that she ever agreed to watch, and we watched it on repeat, which was the first Mary Poppins, the Julie Andrews one.
Nice.
We did watch the Emily Blunt one, but the Mary Poppins on the cloud. She called it Mary Poppins on the cloud. As
That's
if it's
amazing.
an iPad. She loved it, and then we just, sang supercalifragilisticexpialidocious every day.
That's amazing.
It was a way to, it got us through the lockdown.
Yeah, of course, I can imagine. What does she speak? Does she speak, like, what language does she speak?
She is mainly English spoken. She speaks a few words of Italian.
Right.
My mother tongue is French, so I scold her in French. Maman n'est pas contente.
Oh, okay.
And then she answers me, she looks at me like that with a very British accent. She said, no, maman est très contente. Très contente.
Before going into any interview, I'm sure at some points you have you have good days and bad days. What's
Yes.
something that kind of prompts you? What anchors you down when you're, before you just step into that interview and completely turn into this serious mode, professional mode that you keep talking about?
Some days there's nothing to do, you're just so tired and
Yeah.
you're مش مركز.
Yeah.
Most days it all depends about the movie. If I love the movie, I really have that kind
Yeah.
of thing. I don't usually prepare questions, but if I feel that I'm tired, I have a note on my phone and I just put questions on a note so that I بركز أسئلتي. So at least I have a train of thought. I would
Right.
still not use them, but at least I would enter thinking that I have a train of thought, and because the thing that you are scared of the most when you're doing an interview is what just a little bit happened to you. You're scared to lose your train of thought, and
Yeah.
you're scared to lose your next question.
Exactly.
And so when you feel tired, and this may happen a little bit more in those situations, then I kind of write them before, so that I feel that my brain has locked them in.
Yeah, okay. And okay, so if you have, I know now you're mainly in cinema and I love that, but would you consider do you like other prequels as well, like prequel movies, or would you ever consider yourself moving into series, like talking about series that are cinematic?
I did. I mean, now that we have
now they're being
streaming
shot
on top
different.
of things, I'm covering a lot. I am a big fan of TV series myself. I do believe that a lot of the good writings in Hollywood has been done in drama.
Exactly.
In recent years, and,
Yeah.
and there's
Specifically,
nothing
like
you can do.
modern.
I mean, I love Kate Winslet, and look at Mare of Easttown, and what an amazing performance that was. So there's a lot of good stuff on TV, and I watch them. But I do a lot of series. Typically, Scoop is a movie show, but now with the streaming and the fact that streaming has become another viewing platform
Exactly.
than cinemas, we kind of promote things to watch on
Yeah.
Scoop,
Yeah.
and so we're doing more TV series.
That's amazing. Okay, thank you so much for being with
Thank
us.
you.
And we're back from the studio.